Type through the hitch pads, and which was good for a big gain.
Perrin caught the ball. Tony Petrucci's the tight end who was injured last week, did not play. Dayton's leading receiver is Tim Eubank. The center is Bob Antoon. Nudera and Mass are the guards. The Giacomo and Kerry McCarthy, who's 270 pounds, is the tackle. It's 2nd and 2 for Dayton. Wilhelm handing the ball off, and Wagner's quick defense is there to stop for no gain.
I see why they came out throwing. That defense, that's an 8-man front. That's like playing against a gap 8 defense, Nick, and that's going to be very tough in the running game today.
They've got Henry and Langella at the guards. Rich Robinson, their best pass rushers at defensive tackle, along with George Gaspar. West and Leftridge are the outside backers. Artie DeMella, Eric Jenkins are the inside backers. And as Homer mentioned, they could get up there and sometimes be an 8-man front. 3rd down, a yard to go. Dayton in a full house backfield. It's Jones.
He gets the 1st down. That's an off-tackle, outside belly type drive series in their T formation. And the indication was they were going to run to the right because their right halfback on that side was a blocker. He scooted up just a little bit.
Jones coming in with 1,740 rushing yards. Wilhelm, as quarterback, completing 52% of his passes. So Dayton with a 1st down at its own 44. Little counter to Jones, and he's into Wagner territory at around the 48.
Mick, that young man just had the timing and the balance to make that play. It was not there. But he made a good play, 6-yard gain, and that's I can see now what they're talking about, the timing and the balance of this.
Well, they say Dave Jones, they called him Too Slow Jones, doesn't much like it, but as you mentioned, you like him as a runner. He's got great vision down the field, and he made a nice run there, and Dayton now is at 2nd and 6, and they're in Wagner territory. This is the best field position for either team. Dayton has a wide out left and right with Godfrey and Jones in the eye. Delay handoff to Jones, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, he saved a loss there. The young man, again, had great balance, and as you say, vision. He can pick things up there and make the play, and so he saved a bad play at that point.
Dayton comes into this game averaging 285 yards on the ground, 117 through the air, and 402 yards per game of total offense. Wagner, though, is very stingy against the rush. So it's strength against strength here in this Stagg Bowl championship game. 3rd down and 3. The pitch to Jones. He's inside the 45. Appears to have the 1st down. That's Rudy Flyer, the University of Dayton mascot, who's here as well as the University of Dayton marching band is here.
Again, the young man picked his way. They had almost a 10-man line that time as they closed up for that play, but this young man picked his way on the quick sweep and made the play and cut back, made the 1st down.
So Dayton with a man in the slot, Randy Cummings there, and Eubank is to the bottom of your screen, and the backs are in the eye. From the 45, Wilhelm wanting to throw, the screen to Jones. He will lose about 3 yards on the play.
They had that well covered. That did not fool Wagner one bit. Their linebackers started in on the play, the running play.
A fake to the fullback on a play action, but apparently they had good downfield coverage, and Wilhelm was forced to dump it off short.
Right, that was an option play. He had the quick screen out here with the guard pulling out, or he had the deep man if he were open.
So it is 2nd and 12 now for Dayton. Wilhelm. The ball was hit. Up for grabs. Artie DeMella at linebacker has picked it off. DeMella makes the interception, and so the first turnover of the game, it goes in favor of Wagner.
Well, Wilhelm made a bad decision, and he just threw the ball up for grabs.
So with 9:22 to play in the 1st quarter, another look as Wilhelm was hit hard, and the ball was up for grabs, and DeMella was there to pick it off. And so there's a timeout on the field with the score Wagner nothing and Dayton nothing. We'll return in just a moment. Artie DeMella with his first interception of the year for Wagner. That's their 18th interception as a team. Wilhelm throwing his 8th interception on the year.
Robinson Henry made that play happen. They put on a great rush at that point.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the NCAA. Any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. So Greg Kovar under center for Wagner, their second possession of this first quarter. There is no score. Underwood running straight behind the block of center Mike Jones, a 3-year starter, and there's little gain.
Dayton had a little slant on in their defensive front that time, their 5-man front, and they just slanted right into the play. They had a good read on that.
1-yard gain. It's now 2nd down and 9. Wagner uses the wide receivers as the messenger, and Mike Mikutuk comes out as Mike Walker goes in. Walker's to the top of your screen. Kovar is 6'5", out of Hazlitt, New Jersey. Dropping back to throw again. And he will go down as the Dayton defense sacks Kovar back at the 31-yard line.
That was that was 97. He's, of course, their rusher, the nose guard, came right around the center's block on that and made the play.
That's Dick Kiko for Dayton, a co-captain, a preseason All-American candidate. And Kiko is a 3.6 grade average in industrial engineering. Made the big play there, engineering a sack. Kovar was not sacked at all last week at Emory and Henry. He had great line protection, but Dayton got him this time. 3rd and long for Kovar. Good protection now. It's Cheney into Dayton territory. And finally wrestled down by Jody Weldy at the 37-yard line. A 32-yard pickup.
That was the shotgun that we talked about at the top of the show.
Second pass completion of the day for John Cheney.
It was a deep crossing route. That Cheney's quite an athlete. Came right across the middle. A great pass.
Wagner feels it can hurt Dayton's secondary, and they're perhaps going to work on the Dayton secondary. This is their deepest penetration at the Flyer 37. Underwood hurdling a tackler. Gets to the 33-yard line.
That was their pitch off tackle. They pitched the ball. It looks like the sweep development, but he cuts it back right off tackle, inside the tackle. Makes a good play out of it.
Underwood is 5'9", 185, a junior from Cliffwood, New Jersey. 2nd and 6 from the 33. That's Pugh, the fullback, powering his way. Running over a tackler. He's to the 11-yard line. He ran right over Dayton's free safety, a freshman, Sean Kennelly. There's no match for Big Tom Pugh, a bowling ball type of runner.
Well, that was a counter play where they pull their guard and tackle, and it was very effective against that slanting defense. We also have a personal foul.
Get out of here. Just a simple handoff here. But a big gap opening.
That was a counter action. He broke it back and made a big play. You'll see Shock will come in a little late, and they'll penalize the half the distance to the goal line.
Now Tom,
right on the 5-yard line.
Tom Pugh with 951 yards and 1,930 for his career. And that's as a result of doing mostly a lot of blocking for Underwood. So he's quite capable of running the ball. But now Wagner has 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Pugh and Underwood in the I formation. It's a loose football, and Dayton has recovered the ball as Wagner, on an exchange, loses the ball inside the 10-yard line, and Dayton has recovered Brad Crow, the linebacker.
Well, they lined up their 7 front that time. That was their goal line defense. They've changed from the 6-5 into the 7 front that they have talked about.
So each team has made a mistake here in this first quarter. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. There is no score from the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl. So Wagner fails to punch it in, Homer, when they've got it at the 5-yard line. Looked like Underwood never really caught it and then kicked it, and Brad Crow recovered for Dayton.
Well, they're running their counter trap play that they made such a big gain on the play with Pugh that they're going to run it now back to the other side. But it was a bad pitch. He never really got his hands on the football.
So the Flyers huddling in the end zone now will come to the line of scrimmage at their own 10-yard line. Mike Nicholson is in the game now for Dayton at fullback, along with Dave Jones. And Dayton keeps the ball on the ground for a short gain straight ahead.
Now that's our quick trap. Made a good play on that 5-yard gain.
Dayton making its 6th NCAA playoff appearance. Flyers 8-4 in the playoffs, and this is their 3rd trip here to Phenix City in the Stagg Bowl. Mike Nicholson's been bothered by injuries most of the year. It's curtailed his effectiveness. He's healthy and ready to play here today. Dayton now with a wide receiver to the left and a wide receiver to the right. Running backs are split with Nicholson getting the football out across the 17-yard line.
That was just an off-tackle play on their I formation. I think that the defense that Wagner has, they're going to have to do more trapping and a little more counter offense to overcome their quick reads also. But they do penetrate.
Wagner's defense has allowed just 89 yards rushing per game, 137 through the air, and 226 yards given up by Walt Hameline's team. 3rd down and 4. Dayton converting 47% this year of 3rd down efficiency. Dave Jones going to be stopped short.
Now, that was a counter play, but they were there and they didn't get the break they needed on that, so there'll be 4th down, and they will punt.
So Jones coming out of the game, he has rushed for over 100 yards in 14 consecutive games. As Dayton brings the kick team in, the punter is freshman Jack Cameron, averaging 38 yards per kick. His longest kick this year was 67 yards. He's had no kicks blocked. Cheney and Underwood are deep to return for Wagner. It's a good snap as Cameron hits the ball very high, and it's coming down to Cheney juggling at the 42, and he won't get any return at all as Dayton had good kick coverage, and Wagner will have it at the 40-yard line.
Cheney did not have his hands on the football. He took his eyes off of it briefly, and he looked at first like he could make a return.
So with 4 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in this first quarter, it'll be Wagner with the football when we return. At this point, Wagner certainly had the best field position.
They certainly had. We talked about the hidden yardage yesterday in these games, and of course that all favors Wagner at this point.
The Seahawks will put it in play. Good field position at their own 41-yard line as Greg Kovar, the big tall quarterback, looks over the Dayton defense. Flyers showing a little stunting on defense and dropping back as Kovar drops back and hits his fullback Tom Pugh, who is out of bounds at the 46-yard line after a gain of 5.
They're going to do a lot of that. They like to throw their fullback, particularly on play action type counters. Kovar rose deep to his right, and the fullback out of the backfield makes the play, steps out of bounds after a 5-yard gain.
That's the second pass caught by Pugh today, only the 10th catch he's made on the year. The Seahawks at 2nd and 5 from their own 46. Kovar with a quick out to the flanker out on the right side, down to the 49-yard line.
That's just
Mike Walker goes down.
A little quick hitch pass. He takes a couple steps downfield and comes back. And, of course, it's another good play for them. They pick up about 4 yards, Nick. They're almost just a yard away from 1st down.
So you see Wagner come to the sideline, Walker come to the sideline there, and he comes out, a new receiver goes in. That was Mike Walker's 29th catch, and they're just into Dayton territory now, and they're needing a yard on 3rd down. Wide receiver to the top of your screen. Backs are in the eye on 3rd and short. The pitch tossed to Underwood, breaking a tackle, getting to the outside, and stiff-arming his way to the Dayton 44-yard line. It's a 1st down for Wagner.
Well, that's the type of things Underwood would do. The play was not there. He just kept breaking to the outside, made the 1st down. You can see the quick pitch there where the play was set to go off tackle, but it wasn't there, and he slides outside. And this is the way this young man can make the big plays for them.
Also a Dayton Flyer that's slow to get up following this play. It looks like for Dayton, Dave Oberst, the right defensive tackle, is being attended to. Dayton trainer Steve Foster is out there taking a look at Oberst, who's an interesting story. Homer, he's 20. In 1984 at Dayton. Number 91 there is Oberst. You see, kind of getting cut down a little bit.
Yeah, he just got blocked out of there, and he probably have just shaken up a little bit, but he runs the sideline, so he's okay.
He's a tough guy, and I'm sure he'll get back into the game for the University of Dayton. They've got Dave Gotzel in there now, number 74, in place of Oberst. First and 10 from the 44, and this is the running back again, spinning his way to the 40-yard line. Underwood again, picking up about 5.
Yeah, that's their counter trap that they made the big play on before with Pugh, and so they're gonna go back to this when they need it.
Underwood has gained 3,715 yards in his career. He has had 3 1,000-yard seasons. He's only a junior.
He's a great back.
3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in a scoreless first quarter here on a sun-splashed afternoon in Phenix City, Alabama. Slight breeze out of the north. This is Kovar back to throw over the middle. He's got his receiver Keith Johnson, and Johnson is down to the 21-yard line. It's another first down for Wagner.
A little play action, quick post, quick slant pattern, and that's going to be open against this zone defense that Dayton employs.
Johnson makes this catch, and it's interesting about Johnson, he didn't catch a pass until game 5 of the year, and he's now caught 15.
That ties right in with their quick trap play. The guard keeps pulling, gives protection to the quarterback on that particular pass.
So Wagner with a lot of yards, but no points to this juncture of the game. They have first and 10 from the 22. It's Pugh running straight into the Dayton defense as Ted Edgington, the linebacker there, number 31, made the big hit.
That young man from Covington, Kentucky, his high school just won the state championship in Kentucky.
Edgington is the number 2 tackler on the Dayton team with 88 tackles, and as a coach, you've got to like that tackle.
Oh, he put it right in there, right in the numbers.
A loss of a yard. It's second down and 11 for Greg Kovar and the Wagner College Seahawks. They have the ball at the 23. Running backs are split with Pugh and Underwood. The double wide to the right, and Dayton showing a blitz. Kovar going deep for Cheney, who makes the catch. Touchdown, Wagner.
That's the great call against the blitz. They run the linebackers through. The 2 against 2, and of course he broke it in the end zone. Great play by Cheney, and of course Kovar was cool and very poised. Didn't let the blitz bother him.
That's the 20,
right in his hands.
The 21st touchdown pass thrown by Kovar this year, and the 7th touchdown reception by John Cheney, a 6'2 speedster from Albany, New York. And in to add the PAT, Jerry O'Riordan.
He just beat his man. That's all there is to it.
He got behind Paul Reese, the Dayton strong safety, and it was a perfectly thrown ball, and Cheney was there to haul it in.
That was a mismatch because he has more speed than the strong safety.
1:56 to play here in this first quarter. Wagner had been threatening throughout much of the quarter, and they finally push it in to take an early 7-0 lead. Wagner advanced to this game with 3 playoff victories, knocking off Rochester 38-14. Winning at Fordham 21-0, and then in the snow last week at Abington, Virginia, they knocked off Emory and Henry by the score of 20-15. They come into the game with a record of 12-1. Dayton is at 11-2 on the year, and the Flyers, of course, with their playoff victories over Capital, 52-28, that 38-36 stunner against Augustana, and last week's 34-0 win against Central Iowa. So Walt Hameline has a cushion here. It's 7-0 Wagner, and let's see the kickoff here from Jerry O'Riordan. 40% of his kickoffs are into the end zone. He's got a strong leg. He's also kicking in to a stronger breeze. Very high ball, which will be short. John Husted to make it. Dave Jones catches it for Dayton. At the 15, he's out to around the 24. It looked like Husted was going to make that catch, and Jones got in there and kind of took it away from him.
He wanted the football, and that kick was short because he was kicking in the wind a little bit. and it gave them a little better field position than taking the ball on the 20-yard line.
Dayton has allowed only 13 points to score against them in the first quarter all year, but Wagner with 7 here to take the 7-0 lead. And so Kevin Wilhelm at quarterback now for Dayton. Play action, and he will throw the ball. And incomplete. It was over the tight end, but the intended receiver was the split end, number 36, Tim Eubank.
Yes, he just fell down, slipped on the grass a little bit, and the ball was underthrown. So a little bootleg play action type play. And Wilhelm just did not get the football to him.
Eubank is Dayton's big play receiver with 51 receptions on the year. Great hands, and he uses his 6'3" to great advantage over normally smaller defensive backs. So it is 2nd and 10 now for the Dayton Flyers. Godfrey and Jones are in the I formation. This is Jones. He's to the 27, a gain of perhaps 2.
Wagner's running almost a 10-man front. They have everybody up in there. And Dayton must establish the run. This has been their thing all year. And if they can't get the run going, they're going to be in trouble in this football game.
1 minute and 20 seconds to play in the first period, with Wagner leading Dayton 7-0. There's that Wagner defense. A 4-4, but they pack them in very tight. They've got all 11 guys within 10 yards of the ball on the defense. 3rd and 7. Wilhelm putting it deep. Good defensive play as Eubank was being guarded by Vinnie Price, the cornerback.
Robinson put the pressure on him. He again underthrew. He didn't get set to get the weight on his forward foot to get that ball up in the air.
Well, you mentioned it, Homer, that Robinson is number 77, and he's their best pass rusher. And it was good coverage by the defensive corner, Vinnie Price, as well.
But he has his man beat if he just get the ball up there with a little breeze. He didn't follow through the pass. He didn't get the weight forward enough to get it up in the air.
So Jack Cameron will punt for the 2nd time for Dayton. He's averaging 38 yards per kick. A good snap, and the kick is hitting at the 35, takes a flyer roll into the arms of Underwood at the 25. Dayton is stringing the play out, and it's only a 2-yard return to the 28-yard line.
Dayton has a very disciplined punt coverage, and they're going to string these things out. They're not going to give up the big play on that. I can see that in the development of the game right now. But again, Mick, they have to establish the run game, which has been their strength all year, to get back in this football game.
So a rapidly moving first quarter. We're in the final minute of play here in this first period. Mike Kelly's team trailing by a touchdown, and the Dayton defense on the field here trying to hold down the Seahawks. Walt, Hamline, and company. This is Kovar to throw. And now will run. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's got big running room. Out to the 47-yard line. The 6'5" quarterback scrambles for a big gain of 1st down.
Well, he went back in the pocket. Everyone was covered. He didn't take the chance to throw it down the middle for an interception. You can see the free safety in the middle there. He tried to dump it off underneath, and then he just tucked it under and made the big play of the 1st down. Again, they are moving into good field position, Mick.
Kovar doesn't run the ball much. In fact, he has negative rushing yardage on the year, but he picks up 19 and a 1st down. And Wagner with total domination in this football game, both on the scoreboard and in the statistical column. This is Kovar on a 1st and 10 from the 46. Looking to throw over the middle. It is incomplete, intended for Abe Higgins.
Kovar went back in the pocket. They had to split backfield again for their backup passing game. Just did not set and get the ball to his receiver. He had him wide open. But he's made some big plays.
Kovar set the Wagner College records for number of completions, total yards, and touchdowns in a single season. So the ball sitting at the 46-yard line on what would perhaps be the final play of the first quarter. 2nd and 10. Double wide to the left for Wagner. This is a pitch to Underwood. And he's run out of bounds at the 49-yard line.
That was the counter option, and he's going to pitch the football. He's not going to carry the football, so Dayton strung that out. They rode up on that very good. Their cornerback came right up. Safety came inside, made a big play.
A 3-yard gain, and He turned a 3-yard gain in because it looked like he had a good inside block right there. As Keith Johnson made a block to string that play out. So we have completed the first quarter here from the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl game. And after 1 quarter of play, along with Homer Rice back here at the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl game in Phenix City, Alabama, where Walt Hameline and his Wagner College Seahawks have taken a 7-0 lead over Mike Kelly's Dayton Flyers.
You know, before the game, I noticed that the Wagner football team was a little more relaxed and Dayton was a little tight. And I think that's the way the game has progressed at this point.
Big 3rd down play here now for Wagner at their own 49. There's a flag on the play, and there was movement, and so going to have a penalty.
They're in the shotgun, Mick, and the center had a delayed snap, and that often happens when you have to make a direct snap. So that's what happened. The signal, they're moving on the sound, the quarterback's cadence, and the center was just a little late in getting that ball snapped, so you have, of course, illegal procedure. 5-yard penalty. You can see the center, everyone's moving on the snap, except the center does not snap the football. And that develops when you have a direct snap rather than the T formation from the shotgun.
So it costs Wagner 5 yards, and the ball is now at the Seahawk 44. Instead of 3rd and 7, it's now a 3rd and 12 for Greg Kovar and company. He's again in the shotgun formation. Throwing a quick screen to Underwood in the Dayton territory. Big running room. He's inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line.
I tell you, they had a key block, but there's a flag back here, Mick. Let's see what takes place.
So a 2nd consecutive penalty has been whistled.
Invert whistle.
Okay.
Pass completed,
no flag, no penalty.
So it's a break for Wagner, no penalty, and that's a 1st down, and they're driving. They're at the Flyer 38.5-yard line.
I believe he was calling an offensive lineman downfield, but since the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage and the screen, there's no such penalty, so he picks the flag out.
Underwood certainly knows what to do when he catches the football.
Underwood has that shifty moves that he's going to break the play. There's a quick trap.
And not much, maybe a yard gained to around the 38-yard line.
Yes, the nose guard, Dayton nose guard, Kiko really made a fine play on that. He read that beautiful. He was not fooled at all with that quick trap. He was right in on that.
Dick Kiko at middle guard for Dayton. 6', 220, a senior from North Canton, Ohio. You see him there, number 97, the man right over the football defensively. Great game in the Division II championship game. It's a tie in the 3rd quarter. Portland State and Troy State. Being played not too far from here. 2nd and 9 for Kovar, going deep. There's a flag thrown as the catch is made.
I believe it's
Walker.
Offensive interference. The receiver pushed off that time. I believe you're going to get an offensive interference call here.
Take another look here from our end zone angle as Kovar is looking deep to Mike Walker, and Dayton's got decent coverage, good coverage in fact.
See, he pushed off just a little bit before that play to get the open.
Watch now as Walker pushes off, I believe, against number 24, John Houston.
You don't see it in the replay because it happened before that, but you do have offensive interference.
So the freshman from Rome, New York, whistled for the infraction. This will wipe out a long gain for Wagner. They were hoping for 1st and goal at around the 3, and instead they'll bring it all the way back. Wagner will now have it at its own 47-yard line.
This is a break for the Dayton Flyers. They needed something like this. They come up with a big play here on 3rd and very, very long, and they can get the ball back and start their running game.
So it's 3rd and long now for Greg Kovar. He has a double wide to the near side on the right, and he's throwing for Underwood, who's going to streak down the sideline and get down to around the 2-yard line. A big gain around 50 yards or more as Kovar completes the long pass to Underwood.
He just beat John Hudson. Just beat him completely. There was not a play on it at all.
So again, Wagner feeling they can hurt the Dayton cornerbacks, and John Houston was beaten here as Underwood is off to the races, and finally the freshman free safety Sean Kennelly made a touchdown-saving tackle. But Wagner has first and goal to go at the Dayton 1-yard line, and they come out in the full house backfield. Pugh is in the middle. There's the handoff to Pugh running off the left side. He's in for the touchdown, and Wagner has taken a 13-0 lead against the University of Dayton.
Well, he ran right into the off tackle spot on the left side from their balanced T formation.
Pugh with touchdown. Pugh has his 13th touchdown on the year. He is the leading touchdown producer for Wagner. And in to add the PAT, Jerry O'Riordan. Kovar will hold. He gets it down on the tee, and O'Riordan splits the uprights. So there you see the numbers, 13-11. Oh, they say this one was wide, right? And so that's the first miss on the year for O'Riordan. So with 13-11 to play in the second quarter, there's timeout with the score. Wagner 13, Dayton nothing. We'll return to the Stagg Bowl in just a moment. Greg Kovar does a nice job of getting this ball on the tee. That was one of the reasons that O'Riordan mishit it the first time all year that he has missed a point after it was ruled wide right.
Well, that was close. That was just a hair miss if it was a miss. And I'm sure they were right under there where they can see.
O'Riordan had hit 45 consecutive. His brother had kicked 61 in a row. Wagner with a 13-0 lead now, with 13-11 to play here in the second quarter. Dayton has 3 men back at the 5-yard line. O'Riordan's kickoff is a high kick coming down to Dave Jones at the 7. Jones is across the 20 and out across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
Well, Dave Jones wants that football. He wants to make a play. He wants to get his team back in this game. And Dayton will have to run the football this time and make their running game work, Mick, or they're going to be out in big trouble.
Kevin Wilhelm facing a 13-0 deficit now. Backs for Dayton are split. Jones and Nicholson. They fake to Jones, and Wilhelm on the bootleg throwing to Nicholson, and Nicholson makes the catch and is driven out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
That's a little play action bootleg with their fullback coming out of the backfield. He made a good play of this. This is the type of things they must do. Little play action, but they need to get the running game going here to keep that defense on the field, because they're not working the defense as they should.
Last week, Kevin Wilhelm set a University of Dayton record with 11 consecutive completions. 52% ratio on the year. Dayton has a first down at its own 38. And they run the ball to Nicholson to the 40-yard line.
Well, they're not making much in their running game. They need to develop some consistency, and they're going to have to do it with Dave Jones. He's the back. He wants the football. He has the balance. They need to control the football at this point. Keep that Wagner offense on the sidelines.
So it's second down and 8. Flyers have Eubank, the top of your screen, and the wide receiver out of your picture down to the left. As Wilhelm rolling left and completely overthrowing. It looked like Perrin may have ran a wrong pattern as the ball is incomplete on third down and 8, awaiting.
Well, I'm sure that play was planned, but the receiver on the far side had the one-on-one and had the best opportunity, and they're playing him inside on the far side. And I think that's where they need to look, because that's where the outside patterns will be open.
So Dayton with 47% third down efficiency this year, facing another third down. Third and 8. Big crowd from Dayton, Ohio here for this game. And they're rooting the Flyers on. This is a big play for the Dayton offense. Wilhelm dropping back to throw the ball. He is in trouble, and he's going to go down. He was hit. The ball was squirted loose, but they say that Wilhelm has it's an incompleted pass was the call. It'll be fourth down and 8, and Dayton has to punt.
The official ruled the forward motion of the pass, which was correct.
So let's take another look at the pressure on Kevin Wilhelm.
It's a sprint draw fake, but he doesn't sit quick enough to get the pass away.
It looked like the outside defensive end there, Troy Henry, was the guy that came through and perhaps hit Wilhelm's arm to force the incompletion.
They had both outside linebackers coming that time, so they had the pressure on.
So it's 4th and 8, and Jack Cameron to punt. Cheney and Underwood back to receive. Slight breeze into the face of Cameron. It's a very high ball. Should be good hang time here. This is Cheney at the 15-yard line. Dayton's got him surrounded. There's no return. He goes down at the 15-yard line.
This is the first time that they put Wagner back into their own territory.
There's a penalty flag on the field, 2 as a matter of fact here. So we'll wait and see what the officials rule.
A clip. That's a 15-yard penalty.
So the Flyers had good punt coverage. There was no return. And to make matters worse, you're going to see a clip called against the Wagner College team. There it is.
Oh, it is, right from the back. You can see it right in your monitor.
Clipping the call against Wagner.
So this puts Wagner back in deep trouble when we returned. It's been a long afternoon for Mike Kelly and his Dayton Flyers here. Early in the second quarter, they're facing a 13-0 deficit. Wagner has scored a couple of touchdowns. The Wagner College Seahawks cheerleaders, and there's also a good number of fans that have made their way down to Alabama from Staten Island. And they're rooting their team on, and they're in a 13-0 lead. Greg Kovard, quarterback, looking over the Dayton defense. Flyers shifting around there defensively. And this is Kovar from the end zone to throw. He's got his receiver at the 16-yard line, Abe Higgins.
That was a tight end crossing underneath. Good play action, picked him right up. Kovar is definitely the big gun in this game, the big difference, because he has played a magnificent game.
Kovar with great numbers, you see. 155 yards already in a little more than a quarter. So that's a big pass completion. It gets Wagner out of the end zone huddle as they get the ball now at the 19-yard line. Pugh and Underwood are the backs in the eye. This is Tom Pugh, the fullback, trying to hurdle a tackle out across to the 21-yard line.
Again, Kicko right in on the quick trap, did not let it take effect. Made the play right away. But that's what they're doing. Wagner keeps running the quick traps in there, fullback, to keep that defensive front tied in there so they can get the play action passes and things they need to do in their offense.
Greg Kovar comes to the line of scrimmage. He's got a double wide to the left with Keith Johnson and John Cheney out of your picture there at the top to the left. And Kovar is looking left, and now coming across the middle with Johnson. He fumbles the football, and Dayton has picked up the ball. But they're going to whistle. It was a reception. Now they say it was Dayton's football. Dayton will get the ball at the 46-yard line.
It was a completion. Came underneath on the twin set. Beautiful pass again, but he fumbled the football. It was a good hit.
So Kovar laid it right in there, but Dayton had 2 guys, and they sandwiched the receiver.
Free safety picked the football up. That's recovered fumble. This is a break for the Dayton Flyers, Mick. They needed this. They need to take this one in.
So Wilhelm has the ball at the 46-yard line. Running backs are in the deuce as Wilhelm rolls to his right and overthrows Eubank. Well, Wilhelm has just not been on the mark.
No, he needed to run the football there. That was a good call, the sprint out, but he needed to run the football, establish the ground game that they need very desperately at this time. That hurts because now they come up second and long again. Nick, I think the sprint out is going to be a very good series against this team because the way their linebackers are playing. They get tied up underneath.
Jones and Godfrey are the split running backs. Dayton with a wide receiver to the left and right. Wilhelm coming over the middle. The pass is tipped by Rich Robinson, and it's falling incomplete. So Robinson at 6'3", the junior defensive tackle, got a hand on the ball and prevented the Flyer receiver from making the catch.
He just raised up and batted the ball. The ball wasn't that high, and he just was right there as you'll see him in the picture.
So a big defensive play by Rich Robinson. And it's 3rd down and 10. Not a great start for Wilhelm throwing the ball on 3 of 9. Big 3rd down for Dayton. Wilhelm looking to throw. He's going for it all. Eubank, the intended receiver. It's through his hands at the 1-yard line. It looked like a ball that Eubank should have caught.
Well, that ball went right through his hands. It was a tough catch if he made it, but he could have made it. But that's the best pass Wilhelm has thrown today. He put the ball up in the air.
Eubank is Dayton's #1 receiver with 51 catches. He's the big play man. 67 career receptions. He had Vinnie Price beaten on the play.
He did not look the ball all the way in. Tough break for Dayton.
So Cameron will try and pin Wagner down inside the 20-yard line, and they get a good roll, a great roll, inside the 10, and the Flyers will put Wagner at the 7-yard line. So there's a case where distance isn't so important, but the placement of the ball.
Well, the difference in the field position this quarter has been in Dayton's favor. They just need now to capitalize on that and move the football down. And Mick, if they'll do more of the sprint out, more option type thing, get to the corner, because Wagner's inside linebackers are stepping up in there and they're getting caught inside. So they need to get outside on the corners.
Wagner leading Dayton by the score of 13-0. The Wagner Seahawk cheerleaders are happy about it with 10:29 to play here in the 2nd quarter. Kovar off to a great start for Wagner here in this game. And he drops back at the goal line to throw. Over the middle, he's got Cheney at the 14-yard line.
Another little underneath pattern. Cheney slips right in there. And, of course, Kovar has been very, very effective. He doesn't even set the throw sometimes. He has a great arm, great wrist action, and has a quick delivery, which gets the ball right in their hands.
So Cheney is going to get a rest. He's got to be in great physical condition because he does play cornerback sometimes, but he's been very effective as a flanker in this game for Wagner. It was a 7-yard pickup. It's 2nd and 3. The backs are in the I formation behind Kovar. And it's a little halfback check to the fullback, Pugh. And a penalty flag is also down.
Yeah, they were moving on that. Fullback counter, trap, been very effective on with the tailback and the fullback. And that's kept Dayton at home. Their defense can't move as quickly and slant and things they've been doing.
So it'll cost Wagner some yards here, and they'll
probably decline this, so they come up with a 3rd down play.
And they have indeed declined the penalty. So it remains at the 12-yard line. It's 3rd down and about 5. So Wagner now sending 2 receivers out wide to the left. Walker and Cheney. Running backs are split for Kovar on 3rd and 5. He's got his receiver coming out of the backfield. That's Underwood breaking a tackle, spinning his way into the clear. The 30, the 35, and finally knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A 25-yard gain.
Nick, that was a linebacker's responsibility. He dropped deep. He just didn't get to the sideline to make the play. And of course, they put 3 people in that one zone. You can see that he was wide open, dumped it off, and he made the big play.
Well, he also broke a couple of tackles, including one by Brad Crow, and he's Dayton's leading tackler. The linebacker missing a tackle, and Wagner, they were huddling at the end zone a moment ago, and now they're out to the 38-yard line. 210 passing yards for Wagner and Kovar in the game. There's the running play to Underwood. Out to around the 40 or 42.
Yeah, that's their tailback or halfback counter with the trap if it's there. And they're keeping Dayton from over pursuing because they're running so many misdirection plays.
Dayton coach Mike Kelly trailing by a 13-0 lead here as he yells instructions and encouragement to his defense. The Flyer defense has been a good one this year, permitting just 15 points, and they've been stingy against the rush. So Walt Hameline has come out throwing the football, and he's picking up massive amounts of yards through the air. It is 2nd and 6. It's Pugh, the fullback, straight ahead across the 45.
Oh, that was a quick trap. That time Kiko didn't get there. He didn't make the play, and of course they trapped their tackle coming down inside. Here's a trapping guard. He didn't even have to pick his man up because they had too much penetration on that particular play.
Wagner averaging 260 pounds across that offensive front line. The trapping guard, as you mentioned, Terry Harklerow, is 6'3" and 251 on the left side, and he was doing the interference there for that running back. 3rd and 2, and another flag, 2 flags as a matter of fact, stops the play.
They had a little movement in their line there. You can see that that big offensive line is or rather the Dayton defensive line is not a match for the big people in the front.
Dayton felt that it had to rely on its team quickness because they knew they were outmanned size-wise.
But they're keeping their defense on the field too long today, Mick. Wagner's has possession, of course, both of these quarters.
We're midway through the 2nd quarter with Wagner leading Dayton 13-0. An outstanding game to this point for the Seahawk quarterback, Greg Kovar. 3rd down and 7. Kovar will throw under a heavy rush. Incomplete. Dayton had good pass coverage as Houston was covering against Keith Johnson. So it's going to bring up 4th down and 7.
Well, he came from the backside that time to put on the rush, and he had to hurry his throw, and that was a little stunt from the corner there that paid off for Dayton. And slowing down that quarterback, Kovar, he has been exceptional today in everything he's accomplished.
That's Tim Eubank back to receive the punt for Dayton, and Kovar will punt it away and hit it around his 30-yard line. Good snap and a good high end-over-end kick. Eubank at the 23 to the 30 and out to around the 31-yard line.
Dayton lines up that 10-man front, and they put the rush on. They put eight people coming that time.
So with 7:20 to play in the 2nd quarter, there's timeout on the field with Wagner leading by 13. Dayton. No, we're okay. I'm fine. I don't need anything. Fort Benning.
Ladies and gentlemen, a score from the Division II National Championship being played in Florence, Alabama. Troy State 24, Portland State 17, late in the 3rd quarter.
It's a little R&R for the men from Fort Benning across the way, Homer.
They seem to enjoy themselves. They're having a little sunshine in the stadium, and they're enjoying the game, as you can tell.
Perhaps 700 or so making their way over here across the Chattahoochee from Fort Benning into Phenix City, Alabama for this game. 1st and 10, Dayton, the 32-yard line. Mike Nicholson, the fullback, out across to around the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 5.
They were in the opposite backs from the formation that time, and these are the things they must do. They have to gain consistency in the running game. That was a good football play for them.
Nicholson came in with 279 yards, an average of 4.6 each time out of the chute. Ed Perrin is wide to the left for Dayton. A wide receiver to the right. Running backs line up in the eye as Wilhelm looks over the defense and pitches the ball back to Jones, who has been held in check in this game. Dayton's leading rusher has been able to break anything to this point. He came in with 1,740 yards and 14 consecutive games over 100 yards, but Wagner has really bottled up number 34.
They made him tiptoe a little bit. He hadn't had a chance to break anything. He could not get to the outside because their outside linebacker had the containment to make him come back inside. And so their inside linebackers make the play.
Dayton has really turned it on in the playoffs. They've scored more points, they've gained more yards. In the playoffs, they're playing their best football coming into this game. This is Wilhelm on the option. Now the pitch to Jones. Can't turn the corner, and Wagner has done another great job defensively.
That was a good call, Mick. They just didn't make the play. Jones, if he could stay outside that time, get outside on the corner, that's what they're going to have to do. The cutbacks are not there because the linebackers are pursuing inside out, and so they're not going to get anything inside.
It's 4th down, a yard to go, but Dayton in its own territory won't gamble here. Trailing 13-0, they brought the punter in, Jack Cameron, and Dayton is apparently going to give up the ball as Cheney and Underwood retreat in punt safety for Wagner. You see them backpedaling there at around the 30-yard line. 5:23 to play, second quarter. Cameron's kick, rather low, fielded by Cheney at the 29. Spinning his way to the 38 where a flag goes down.
We have another penalty. Either looks like blocking below the waist. Cheney almost broke that. He had a great cutback, 1 foot in the grass.
So a penalty against Wagner will cost them a few yards with 5:10 to play in the second quarter. When we return with the score, Wagner 13 and Dayton nothing. There you see 13-0 the lead as Mike Kelly trying to get his Dayton Flyer team back in this football game. But the Dayton defense, as it has been much of the way, homers on the field again.
Well, that's one of their big problems right now, Mick. They need to keep that offense on the field, not the defense, and they're going to wear them down. And of course, the size of that big offensive line, that is certainly going to take its toll, and just it's going to, of course, help Wagner continue their lead and even improve upon it.
Greg Kovar at quarterback for Wagner is on his way to one of his finest days. He's 12 of 17, and one of his best games was 18 of 25. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. This is Kovar under a heavy rush, and he will go down at the 15-yard line.
That time, they brought the linebacker. He made the big play, and that's what kept Kovar back. You see, he had a little play action, but that made the difference. They're going to have more plays like this. If they can slow down Kovar in his passing game, they can get back in this game from a defensive standpoint and get off the field, put their offense back on the field.
So it's 2nd and 14 now for Wagner at their own 16-yard line. Running backs are split. A slot to the left and a wide receiver to the left. Kovar scrambling again and steps out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A gain of perhaps 9.
Well, they said young man doesn't run very much, but he can run. He can scramble when he has to. He can get them out of trouble. And, of course, that puts him back in the game here with 3rd and 5 situations.
He's 12 of 17, and I guess that's a direct result of the confidence. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He just looks like he knows exactly what to do, how to make the reads, and when to run the football, and he's having a great first half.
Outstanding first half. Young man is very loose as he comes out in the shotgun right now, so he's going right back to work.
It's 3rd and 4. Cheney is wide to the left. Walker wide right. From the gun, Kovar over the middle. He's got a receiver at the 42-yard line. That's a first down and a pickup of 16.
That time their formation was a double wing. They had 4 receivers, and that's a very difficult thing to cover. And he goes right down the middle in the crossing route, coming from the outside in. And one fine catch because that ball was a little low, but he dug it right out.
And it was the tight end Abe Higgins, a 6'2 freshman from Glenmont, New York, that made the catch. And Wagner has a first down at its own 43 as they give it to Underwood, and he is cut down at the 40. It'll be a loss of 3.
Well, again, they're running the counter play, this time with the tailback Underwood. And Dayton is coming to life for their defense. Their secondary is giving up a little too much, and if they can pull together back there and make some plays, make something happen, they can get the defense off the field.
Can bench press 375 pounds. 13-3 in first downs and 13-0 on the scoreboard, both in favor of Wagner. Third
There's
and
that
10.
double wing formation.
Kovar splits the
Wide
defense as Cheney gets in the seam and makes the catch at the 37-yard line, and it's another first down for the Seahawks.
Unless you can get the rush on, he's going to do that all day long, because the secondary playing that zone coverage cannot cover those deep drive patterns.
Perfectly thrown ball. And Kovar continues to hit on all cylinders here in driving his team down the field. John Cheney, another catch. He came in with 73 career receptions. First and 10 for Kovar and company at the 36. Kovar retreating 14 yards and throws a screen to Pugh, and Pugh is run out of bounds at around the 44. This is going to be about an 8-yard loss.
Well, that was a bad decision, but he got rid of the football, and Pugh kept it from being a very bad play.
Boy, for an instant, it looked like Pugh was confused in which way to run the football after he caught the ball.
Well, it was a drop back pattern, had the split backfields, and of course they have the little screen option on both sides. You can see Pugh just makes a play out of it, keeping it from a very bad play, but they still have a long yardage to go here.
So there's the fullback, Tom Pugh, out of Rome, New York, 6'1", 235. Lines up on the left, and to his right is Terry Underwood on 2nd and 18. Kovar throwing deep, going down the field for Mike Walker, who goes up to make the catch but can't hang on. Great coverage down the field by John Houston, the junior from Montpelier, Ohio, covering, and Walker apparently is shaken up on the play.
John Houston was not going to beat that time. He has been beaten before, but he's not going to let that happen again. I'm sure they had a little interview with him on the sideline. Again, the drop back pattern with the split backs, just a go pattern. And John Houston just stayed in there and made sure that was not a reception.
So it brings up 3rd down and 18. We're under 2 minutes to play now in this first half. It's Wagner 13, Dayton nothing. Kovar has thrown 21 passes already in this first half, as Wagner knew it had to throw the football in this game. Kovar throwing down for Higgins, and he can't make the catch. Dayton had a linebacker dropping back on the play, Brad Crow. The Wagner fans wanted pass interference, but there's no flag.
Well, boy, they had the right call then. That was a play against that blitz because the tight end was wide open. He just didn't get the football to him deep enough.
As you see, it was the linebacker there, Brad Crow, number 63, that was downfield for Dayton. On 4th and 18, Kovar will punt. As Dayton will get the ball back here. Kovar hitting it high. Dayton just going to let it roll and hope it gets into the end zone, but not so, as Wagner is down the ball at the 2-yard line. Well, what Dayton does on any punt inside the 10, they don't try and catch it. They hope that it rolls. They get their guy out of there, and Eubank completely got out of there. And this time Wagner was able to hustle down the field, homer and down it, and put Dayton in very poor position.
Well, they're going to have to get it out of there this time. You cannot give them this field position here. They need to run, make 2 or 3 first downs here, Mick, or they're going to be in big trouble again.
For the Flyers, you see huddling in the end zone. They come to the line of scrimmage, which is their own 3-yard line. The backs are in the end zone. That's Godfrey just trying to power his way out across the 5 and perhaps got to around the 6. Kyle Godfrey.
First play was get them spread punt kicking room so they kick the ball and not be in tight punt.
Godfrey's a 202-pound junior fullback from Mount Vernon, Ohio. A 3-point grade average in mechanical engineering.
Wagner calls a timeout here. They want to get this football back. They want to score before this half is up.
This has been Dayton's best quarter on the year. Coming into the game, Dayton had outscored its opponents in the second quarter 178-78, but they can't get anything going against this Wagner College team here. We're nearing the end of the first half, and Wagner is leading the game by a score of 13-0. Walt Hamline, in his 7th year as head coach at Wagner, is also the school's athletic director. Well, you got to go back a long time for the last time a Dayton team has been shut out. It hasn't happened in the 1980s. And Dayton, of course, has been playing Division III football since 1977.
Walt Hameline has done an extraordinary job with this football team, this program at Wagner. And they may be back again next year because they have a lot of juniors on this football team, particularly their quarterback and tailback.
So this is the Flyers senior quarterback, Kevin Wilhelm, on a 2nd and 8 from the 5-yard line.
That's the call. That's the call. If he runs the football.
He's got Eubank at the 21-yard line. The 6'3" senior from Greenville, Ohio, Tim Eubank, makes the grab. He came in with 51 catches.
That's the play they need. They need the first down. They need to get out of their end zone and keep that clock running so they don't give the ball back to Wagner.
First down 10 for Dayton.
So 1:17 left as you see Dayton with a double wide to the near side, to the left. Perrin's in the slot. Eubank is wide to the left. The backs line up in the I. And it's big trouble for Dayton as a great play by George Gaspar, a junior defensive tackle, 5'10", 220, that made the play.
Well, they had a little bootleg action, but it didn't fool Wagner. And of course, they made a big play here. And this is what Wagner wanted. They're going to call another timeout because they want to get the football back.
George Gaspar was the man that made the play.
Play loses 8 yards.
So it's an 8-yard loss. Wagner hopes it can hold Dayton and get it back again. And Portland State has taken the lead over Troy State. They're in the 4th quarter, 24-17 for Portland State.
Again, I think the sprint out is the play for Dayton right now. They need to get some running room and where he can run or throw on that corner, because anything else is not the play for him right here.
There you see in the middle of your screen, that was Mark Schmitz. He played on the 1980 Dayton National Championship team. He's one of the Flyer assistant coaches. It's a little bit of a dejected Dayton Flyers sideline to this point. I'm sure they'd like to get in the locker room and regroup, as Wagner has all the momentum here in this first half, and the Seahawks are holding a 13-0 lead as we play here with 53 seconds remaining in the second period. Wilhelm struggling a bit at quarterback. Has a 2nd and 18.
Drop back pass.
A screen to Tim Early at the 15, Early to the 20. He's got good speed and he runs it out to the 25, maybe the 27-yard line. Tim Early is a tailback on the year with 826 yards rushing, but he has been bothered by a knee injury in postseason play. He's the number 2 tailback with over 800 rushing yards. He's just a junior.
Okay, Wagner has their other timeout. They've called it 3rd down here. They want, of course, Dayton to punt to them so they can have the football back and give their quarterback another shot at that end zone.
You see the Flyers in their red jerseys. These are brand new jerseys that surprised the football players. When they came here in 1980, they had new jerseys that said Stagg Bowl on them. They brought them out on the day of the game, and it was a big surprise. And so this week in Dayton, the players wanted to know, could we get those surprise jerseys again, or those jerseys? And the Dayton coaching staff said, no, we can't afford to buy them this year. And the players wanted them badly, and all along the Dayton team had a surprise in store yesterday when they brought out those new red jerseys that said Stagg Bowl across the front. So a little bit of surprise, but it hasn't given them the lift maybe they had hoped for to this point.
Maybe they'll go back to their old jerseys at halftime, Nick.
3rd down.
As long as they have the same numbers.
3rd and 6.
Okay.
27-yard line. Wilhelm to throw. He's got backside pressure as the defensive end, John Leftridge, was barreling through in there. Knocked the ball loose, and Wagner has it. They're going to rule a fumble.
A fumble.
John Leftridge is number 44, a senior from Rome, New York. And so with 34 seconds to play, Wagner, in fact, will get the ball back. And this is what they had hoped to do. Take another look. This was a fumble as Leftridge comes in from Wilhelm's blind side. Boy, that's a tough call.
Tom Pugh wants to put that ball in the end zone. He wants to get another one on there.
So John Leftridge makes the big play, and it's 1st and 10 now for the Wagner College Seahawks at the Dayton Flyer 22. A half minute to play in the second quarter, and Wagner leading 13-0, and the Hawks with the ball. Kovar looking to throw, going for it all. It's knocked away on a great defensive play by John Houston.
John Houston made a great play that time. He had to come from his wide position of the cornerback and come and make that play in front of Cheney. Otherwise, that was another score.
Well, following the turnover, Wagner wasted no time in trying to get it back.
That's a different pattern to cover. They have the 3 wide receivers on one side. That's a very tough thing to cover.
Houston has 3 interceptions on the year. He had 2 in the regular season finale against Ithaca for Dayton. So that's a big pass breakup. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Kovar to throw. Again, he's going for the corner of the end zone for Cheney, and he overthrows Cheney, who got a hand on it, but he simply ran out of room. It'll be 3rd down and 10. There are 21 seconds remaining.
Cheney was running the deep flag pattern then, and he was open. The ball was just a little bit overthrown. He got a hand on it, but he couldn't pull it in. Almost another score for the Wagner Seahawks.
Kovar is 15 of 24 for 241 yards.
And their Seahawks, I guess they call their offensive line, are really giving protection for Tom Pugh to stay back there as long as he needs to get that pass away.
So it's 3rd down and 10. They bring 2 wide receivers to the right.
They're in the shotgun with that double formation, double wing.
Double wing is 2 to each side. Here's the 3rd and 10 throw from Kovar. He's got plenty of time to pass it. And he's over the middle with a touchdown. Keith Johnson, number 88, splits the Dayton defenders, and Wagner puts a big momentum-building touchdown on the board in the final seconds of the first half to extend the Seahawk lead to 19-0.
Tom Pugh taking the snap, sets. It's the inside receiver. They're split receiver, split in, coming inside on a post pattern, making a great catch. The ball was right on the money, right in his hands.
It was tipped, I believe, the fingertips of Ted Edgington, the Dayton linebacker. And he was the one who got a hand on it but couldn't knock it down. And it's a touchdown reception, Johnson's 4th touchdown of the year. A 6-foot sophomore from Hackensack, New Jersey.
I believe Wagner's going to go for 2 here. They were discussing that on the sidelines. Dayton was a little confused who they had on the field, whether against the place kick or the going for 2 play, and I think Wagner's going to do that. They're talking down. Walt Hameline's talking with his quarterback right now, and they're going to make a decision what they want to run or throw down here on the 3-yard line.
So there are 14 seconds left in this first half. Wagner expended all of its timeouts defensively in an effort to get the ball back. And with John Leftridge making a big play, forcing a fumble, they in fact got it back, and Kovar was determined to put the ball in the end zone. On a 3rd down, he dropped back and hit Keith Johnson for a touchdown, and Wagner is going to go to the locker room with a whole boatload full of momentum here. A 19-0 lead. They're working now on a 2-point conversion. Running backs are split, and Cheney is the man in motion. This is Kovar looking to throw. Wide open is Underwood. He can't hang on. He was wide open, and so the 2-point pass falls incomplete, and the score remains Wagner 19 and Dayton nothing.
Well, Cheney makes the formation by running in motion. And of course, you see Underwood come out of the backfield. He got turned around a little bit and then took his eyes off the football as the ball was thrown inside slightly. That was confusing to the quarterback, Tom Pugh, because he didn't know which side to lead him at the time because he turned around.
Well, it's a happy bunch of Seahawks on the sideline as they have a 19-0 lead, and across the way on the far side, things have not been going well for the Dayton Flyers.
Well, Dayton's fallen behind this football game mainly because their offense has not generated the consistency they've had during the year in these playoff games, and of course that's been the difference. But I think they have a chance to come back when they regroup at halftime and get a little bit more of their offensive thinking and planning into this game.
Mike Kelly has been here before as head coach in 1981 when Dayton led 10-0 against Wagner in the half. and was defeated 17-10. It was a short drive following the turnover, and it's a 22-yard touchdown pass from Kovar to Johnson. Dayton, of course, was here prior to the 81 defeat in the Stagg Bowl the year earlier. They won the national championship in 1980. Mike Schock fields the ball for Dayton and runs it out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
Well, he just pooched that ball, what we call, and he tried to get it where in between the deep people and the up people on the kickoff return team.
So the Flyers are going to put it in play here with 14 seconds remaining in the first half.
This will be interesting. Do you go for the long one here, or do you run out the time and go to the locker room? You don't want another turnover, that's for sure.
Ed Perrin goes wide to the top of your screen. Tim Eubank comes wide to the bottom. Running backs are split behind Wilhelm. He's going to sprint out on a roll to the right. Tried to force it in there, and it's incomplete. He tried to force it into the hands of Perrin.
The sprint out is a good play against this type of defense, Mick, but you can't force the football, and you have to have your receivers going deeper and having somebody underneath or run the football.
So there are 6 seconds remaining in this first half, which has been all Wagner College. Located in Staten Island, New York, with an enrollment of 1,500. Sizable contingent from Staten Island has made the way here to Phenix City, and they're enjoying this first half.
They're going for the long one here.
Triple wide right for Dayton. Top of your screen, only one running back behind Wilhelm. Perhaps the final play of the first half. And Wilhelm throwing it deep. It's knocked down. It could have been intercepted, but Cheney dropped the ball, and so that signals the end of the first half. That's the end of the first half of the Stagg Bowl game from Phenix City, Alabama. Your halftime score is the Wagner College Seahawks 19 and the Dayton Flyers nothing. We'll be back with our halftime activities right after these messages. Alabama, we're glad you're with us for this NCAA Productions telecast. Jerry O'Riordan has the ball teed up at the 35-yard line. Dayton has 3 men deep to receive, with Dave Jones center deep, standing at around the 3-yard line. We'll settle back and enjoy our second half as O'Riordan is into the ball. Jones at the 1, to the 10, across the 20, and leveled at the 22-yard line. So it'll be interesting to see now what Dayton tries to do. Trailing 19-0 on the first series.
This is going to be the key to their second half right here on this first series.
Wilhelm was 5 of 15 for 46 yards and 1 interception in the first half. Backs are in the eye behind Wilhelm. Jones is the tailback. It's Jones getting the ball. A gap opens off the right side between guard and tackle. He gets to the 27-yard line as Gordy Massa and Kerry McCarthy, the co-captain there, was able to open a gap to spring the Dayton running back.
Well, it's evident they're going to run the football as indicated on the first scrimmage play. And this is what they need to do, establish something in the running game and keep that defense off the field. Keep their defense off the field.
Jones has carried now 9 times for 28 yards. Well below his game average. On a 2nd and 5, Dayton runs the ball again out to the 30-yard line. Jones for the second consecutive carry.
They have their 2 tight ends in there, so they're spelling it out. They're going to run the football. They're going to make their first down by running the game, running on the ground.
So Eubank goes out of the game now for Dayton. Wide receiver. Get a second tight end in the game on 3rd and 2 from the 20. It's a big play for Dayton here early in the 3rd quarter, and Dayton trailing Wagner 19-0. Jones has a first down as he powers his way out to the 34-yard line.
That was a little counteraction. They needed that first down to establish their running game, and that's what they're doing, Mick. They picked out a few things that they believe they can do, and they're going to stay with them.
Troy State has won the NCAA Division II championship. A 31-17 victory against Portland State. So Dayton with an initial first down here in the second half. They have the ball at their own 44. That's Godfrey getting the ball to around the 46.
They didn't trap the linebacker. He got in on that one.
Defense! Defense! Defense!
They need to run right at him, Nick. The counter's good on a short yardage situation, but not on the first and second plays out of the series.
Wilhelm now with a second down awaiting. 2nd and 8. And Wilhelm will run the football.
They had the down the line option call. It was a good call, but they just did not execute.
But it looked like the right outside linebacker, John Leftridge, came in and took that play away.
Exactly. He was going to take the pitch, forcing the quarterback to run football, and their inside linebackers just scrape off and make the play.
So it's 3rd down and 7. Wilhelm suffered a broken leg a year ago in game 4, and it took him a while to get going this year. This is Wilhelm throwing over the middle, and Randy Cummings is there to make the grab at the Wagner 49-yard line, and Dayton picks up 14 yards on a... His 3rd catch of the year from Anderson High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. 1st and 10 Flyers at the Seahawk 49. Wagner showing a blitz. The Flyers pick it up, but the running play doesn't get much. It still was a good defensive surge that stopped the rush.
No question about it. That counter action again, they need that on short yardage, not on long yardage. He just puts them back in a passing situation, and then that's exactly what Wagner wants. Situation they want them in.
Mike Kelly with the 4th best winning percentage in Division III football. He's the winningest coach in University of Dayton Flyer history. 63 wins, 79%. 2nd and 12. Dayton is back in its own territory now after a loss of 2. The screen to Jones. And he lost his footing at the 44. And I think it's an important point, Homer, in as much as Dayton has played only 3 road games, and they play at home on an AstroTurf surface. They're not used to playing on grass, and I think it's hurt Dayton a little bit here.
It makes a big difference. It slows them down. And of course, Dave Jones does not have the great speed anyway, and he's trying to make some cuts that he cannot make on the grass. He's sliding right out of it.
Dayton only 40% on 3rd down conversions. Wagner at 72%. 3rd and 5 from the 44. Wilhelm dropping to throw over the middle. He's got Jones, who makes the catch, but it's not enough for a first down. Well, Wagner permitted the reception, but they did not permit a first down as Artie DeMello, the linebacker, was in there to stop it at the 41.
It's going to come up 4th and 2. I believe they're going to go for it here.
If Dayton does go for it, they've been successful on 4th downs. They have made their last 9 4th down conversions, 9 in a row, and 74% of them on the year. Dayton feels when it gets to be 4th and 1, they can make it with a T formation, a full house backfield. It's a little more than a yard now here, almost 2 yards. But trailing 19-0.
They're fighting the 25-second clock here. They need to hurry.
Dayton figures they've got to make a first down here on 4th and 2 and trailing by 19 to keep the drive alive. Wilhelm to Jones, turns the corner.
Great call.
First down. He's got it to the 29-yard line where John Chaney at defensive back throws Jones down to the 29. So this is Dayton's biggest play so far in this game.
Nick, that was a counter action on the short yardage. So that's what they need to do in the short yardage. You can see the counter action, holding a guard and tackle. Even though it wasn't a good looking football play, Dave Jones makes a great run out of this, breaks to the outside, and picks up the very, very important first down in this second half.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Flyers. They're driving at the Wagner 29-yard line. Running backs are split behind Wilhelm. A double wide to the right, top of your screen. It's a quick hitch to Perrin. Perrin is caught from behind and put down at the 22-yard line.
Very good play. A little quick action. Play action. Looks like the option. Run down the line option. And he just raises up and hits the quick hitch.
Perrin, coming into the game, made 7 of his 11 season catches. He made 7 of them in the playoffs. So he's come on strong, and he made the catch there. It was a good play and a tackle by Chris West, which saved an even bigger gain.
They're working the Wagner defense over a little bit. This is important to them.
2nd and 2. This is Mike Nicholson off the right side. He's close to a first down as he rambles to around the 18-yard line.
A little off tackle play with a bootleg fake by the quarterback. Picked up the first down. These are the type plays that are good in the short yardage situations.
Nicholson's best rushing performance was a 77-yard effort against Mercyhurst, a game in which Dayton won 24-14 midway through the season. But it is Godfrey into enemy territory. He's at the 48-yard line. Godfrey's a 202-pound junior from Mount Vernon, Ohio.
They went back to their double tight end formation to run the football and have more power on either side of the line of scrimmage. And now they're at that 3rd and less than 2 situation. They need to make the first down here, Mick.
Dayton has not trailed by the margin in which they find themselves in this game all year, but Dayton has done a good job of regaining composure. They really never have lost composure, and you have to credit the Dayton coaching staff because they've come out here in the 3rd quarter and established to what they've tried to do. They're 3rd and 1. Jones fell down, lost his footing on a key 3rd down play.
Well, he slipped to get on the grass. You made that point before. They've been played on artificial surface in so many home games this year. Wagner went into their goal line defense that time. They knew they were going to run, and they put the pressure and had much penetration.
So Dayton earlier in the quarter gambled on 4th and 2, and Jones broke off a nice gainer to keep the drive alive, and Dayton is going to try it here again on 4th down, a long yard to go. They line up in the I formation.
They need to run the counter play, which they do.
And it's Jones hurling over the top. Yep, I think he's got the first down at around the 46-yard line. Dayton has controlled the ball nearly the entire 3rd quarter. 2:48 to play in the period. The only scoring coming on a Dayton field goal.
Nick, it's going to be close. You have to watch the spot.
They've given a first down.
But they're going to measure.
Jones going high over the top.
I think the referee overruled him. I think he's going to give him the first down.
He signaled
that, I know, but then they were going to bring the chains in. But the ball was across that point, so he gave him the first down. This is a good drive by Dayton, the Dayton Flyers.
That's 11 consecutive conversions on 4th down by Dayton. 1st and 10 for the Flyers at the Seahawk 46. Nicholson at fullback spinning his way inside the 45, maybe the 44.
There's a little quick trap. Trying to break something up the middle. The way their linebackers are running, they can break it back against the grain. They have some wide open spaces there.
Wagner leading 19-3. Their halftime lead was 19-0. 2nd and 8. Double wide to the left, bottom of your screen now for Dayton. Wilhelm back to throw. He's got a screen set up, and Jones makes the catch at the 40 and goes down at the 38-yard line. He juggled the ball, but held on and picks up 6.
Jones made a great play on that, Nick. That ball was drilled to him. He muffed it a little bit, but he kept his concentration on the football, picked up his blockers, made a few good cuts. Here it comes. Here's the play. He had to drill it, as you see. He bobbles it momentarily, but he had the sense of direction to pick it right out, make the play.
3rd down, a yard to go. Full house backfield in the game for Dayton. It's Jones off the left side. He was slowed down by Artie DeMella.
He's going to be short. Going to come up a 4th down situation again.
DeMella made the play, number 46. He's an academic All-American, 3.7 in business economics. And Dayton once again is faced with a 4th down. They have made 2 fourth-down conversions here in the quarter. We're in the final minute of play here in the third quarter. It's been all Dayton, but they're forced to keep this drive alive here on 4th down. Jones, Nicholson, and Godfrey are the backs. That's Nicholson off the right side. Another first down at the 35-yard line.
Off right tackle. They line up in that straight T formation on short yardage and goal line. And their fullback runs off tackle to the right and makes the first down.
So the clock is counting down here in the final seconds of the third quarter. Dayton with a reload on the downs. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Running backs are split. This is Godfrey off the right side, powering inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. 5-yard pickup on the final play of the third quarter. So Dayton had all the momentum in the third quarter. In fact, Wagner had the ball very sparingly in the quarter, and so Dayton feels it's right back in the game as they go to the fourth quarter. It's Wagner 19, Dayton nothing. I wonder if Dayton scores, will they go for a 2? If they'd go for a 2-point conversion.
I'd go for 1.
What are you going to show us? Oh, okay. All right.
The field goal to win.
A refreshing breeze here in Phenix City, Alabama. Temperatures near 70 degrees on a beautiful afternoon for the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl game. This is Mick Hubert along with Homer Rice. We're glad you're with us for this NCAA Productions telecast. We go to the fourth quarter. 2nd and 5 for Dayton. Wagner leading 19-3. Wilhelm throwing out to Perrin. Perrin splitting a tackler inside the 20. Tough to bring down to the 15-yard line, and Dayton driving here.
Good play. That's a little quick action. Starts like the down the line option. Little hitch pattern. Makes a nice cut in here and picks up the first down. They're inside the 20. Their consistency rate here is very, very high of scoring.
Little Eddie Perrin out of Strongsville, Ohio. Big catch for Dayton. Flyers of a first down at the Wagner 16. Dave Jones caught in the backfield. Good defensive play there as Rich Robinson at defensive tackle. He's 6'3" and 253, a junior from Monroe, New York. He had 13 tackles in the playoff victory against Rochester. He's the number 2 tackler on the team for Wagner.
Their counter trap has not been effective on early downs.
A loss of a yard. Nicholson and Jones behind Wilhelm, who retreats to throw. Looking, throwing, incomplete. The Flyer receiver went down as John Chaney was covering against Tim Eubank.
They're wearing different shoes on the grass they wear on that artificial surface, and you can tell they're slipping a little bit. They're not used to playing on this type of surface.
I think the University of Dayton fans have recruited some Fort Benning soldiers here. Look like they're waving red and blue pom-poms.
I think they moved right over and picked them up as fans.
It's 3rd down, 11. Wilhelm looks over this defense of Wagner College. 17-yard line. He fumbles the football, and it's loose, and I believe Wagner has recovered. Dave Jones never really got his hands on the ball. It's a costly turnover here as Wagner has recovered the football. 13:52 to play here in the fourth quarter, and Wagner comes out with the ball. So, with the score, Wagner 19, Dayton 3. The Seahawks put their offense on the field following this timeout. Dayton had been so effective at scoring inside the 20, but you see Jones dropping the ball there, and they turn it over, Homer, inside the 20.
It was a poor handoff. He did not get the ball completely on the belt buckle, and he did not have an opportunity.
Well, that pretty much says it all from head coach Mike Kelly. A golden opportunity slips through the Flyer hands, and Greg Kovar has his hands on the football running the Wagner offense. There's the pitch to Underwood. And still burrowing his way for a few more yards. He's to the 20-yard line, a gain of 3.
Well, they want to move the ball out of this territory and give that quarterback, first Greg Kovar, some throwing room. I know they want to get another one on the board. Another score would be important for their momentum at this point in the fourth quarter.
Kovar, check that, Underwood has picked up 43 yards on 13 carries. He comes in averaging well over 100 yards per game. 2nd and 7. It's a double wide to the left now for Wagner. Kovar back to throw, but he goes down on a big hit made by a blitzing corner, John Houston, who came from the outside and knocked the ball down from Kovar. There's also a flag thrown.
That corner blitz has been a big play for them this game, this quarter, and I think that effectiveness is going to turn the corner here for Dayton, the Dayton Flyers. They needed something like this. They need to back that team up and make the big plays.
John Houston making the big play. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Wagner. It's back now to the 6-yard line as you see the Seahawks huddling in the end zone. So Dayton has got them defensively right where they want them. If the Flyers can make a big defensive stand, they figure to get the ball back in decent position with 13 minutes to play in the game.
An unsportsmanlike conduct call there moved them back half the distance.
Pugh is the single setback. Underwood's in the slot to the left with a double wide to the left. On 2nd and 20, Kovar hands the ball off to Underwood. He's out into the clear at the 15 and finally down to the 18-yard line. Misdirection play.
Yes, Underwood almost broke that one. Had an opportunity to make a big play there. Almost got away and brought them out of their own end zone.
In 1986 against Western Connecticut, this man, Terry Underwood, picked up 354 yards rushing in one game. Underwood has had 20 games over 100 yards, and he had 9 consecutive. Kovar to punt. Hits it high but short. Dayton's going to start in Wagner territory at the 49-yard line as Eubank makes the fair catch. So with 12:21 to play in the game, timeout on the field with the score, Wagner 19, Dayton 3. Yes, sir. There's a nervous Mike Kelly pacing the sidelines. Time becoming a factor here, and the Flyers have got to regroup, trailing by 16.
They need to take this in and score. This is going to be a very important drive, whether they can get back in this ball game and have a chance to tie or win in the fourth quarter.
Wilhelm to Perrin, the 45, the 35, pickup of 14 yards on a quick out pass to Eddie Perrin. Dayton is at the Wagner 35.
Nick, I'm not sure that's not an audible because the defensive back was so far off of the wide receiver that time that the little hitch pattern was definitely there for a good gain. That's a good, fine football play.
So Dayton has a first down at the Wagner 35. Perrin is wide left, top of your screen. Eubank wide right to the bottom. The running backs are split. Tim Early is in the game. And this is early in the misdirection, running straight ahead the 30, inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. An 11-yard run by the Flyers junior tailback from Jamestown, Ohio, Tim Hurley, who's been bothered by injuries this year, but he's still picked up 826 yards rushing as the number 2 tailback.
A little cross buck. He picked up the opening hole there very quickly. They're going to measure for the first down, Mick.
Hurley's had 4 games over 100 yards. His season high was the 130 game against Wayne State. Same game in which Dave Jones had 234 yards rushing. That was the season opener for Dayton. Another first down for the Flyers. They're inside the 25-yard line.
They have the momentum, Mick. They just need to keep moving here, score, get back in this football game.
Wagner leading 19-3. Early and Eubank go out as Dayton has Nicholson and Godfrey, a pair of fullbacks, running as split backs now behind Wilhelm. This is Godfrey off the right side to the 20 and powering to the 17-yard line.
That was a job of the offensive line that time, Mick. They picked up that blitz, that run through for the linebackers.
Here's another low-level look.
They moved right out,
Godfrey.
right off the line of scrimmage. They had a good push there. And Godfrey made a nice run behind his blocking on the right side.
So it's 2nd and 3 at the 18-yard line. Godfrey inside the 15.
Just a fullback off tackle. They have another first down. They're moving the ball, have the momentum. They're keeping the Wagner defense on the field, Mick, which you can tell they're getting a little bit tired right now. This is a key thing in this football game at this point.
So Mike Kelly there, hoping for a second Stagg Bowl championship. He was the defensive coordinator in 1980. We've got a momentary pause in the play. In fact, Dayton has called for a timeout. 10:27 left in this 4th quarter. And so, with Wagner leading 19-3 and Dayton down to the 14-yard line, the Flyers are going to come back when we return in just a moment. It's been a game of halves.
Tell the difference.
There you see the numbers, 19-3 and 10:27 to play. The Flyers called for a timeout. They can ill afford to miss a scoring opportunity as they did earlier in the quarter on a Dave Jones fumble. They're trailing by 16 and they have the ball at the Wagner 14-yard line. Wilhelm fakes to early, rolls to his right under heavy pressure from Rich Robinson, throwing the ball. Touchdown in the corner. It was a touchdown catch made by the Dayton Flyers tight end Tony Petrucci in heavy traffic.
He just made that catch. That ball was thrown in a lot of people. Here's the bootleg action by Wilhelm.
Now I believe they've signaled Petrucci did not catch that ball. Okay.
Let's watch it closely. No, he did not catch the football. Officials made a good call.
So it is an incompleted pass as Petrucci did not hang on. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 14-yard line. Movement on the line. So
yeah,
that's Rich Robinson on his backside. Robinson, the play before, came to the sideline really huffing and puffing. I've got to feel he is very tired. It's a penalty against Dayton, though, for illegal procedure, and then a personal foul, I believe, on Wagner.
Illegal procedure to call against Dayton. Personal foul called against Wagner.
So it's going to be back to the 19-yard line on one penalty, and then they stepped the other penalty off the other way. It was a 5-yard penalty against Dayton, but a major penalty against Wagner. So the Flyers are going to net some yards.
Well, when you have a major penalty, it overrules the lesser penalty, and that's what the officials determined on this play.
So now the Flyers have it there inside the 10. So it's first and goal to go for Dayton, the 9-yard line. Nicholson and Godfrey are the backs. Eubank is wide to the left.
Double tight end.
It's Nicholson down to the 6.
A little off tackle play. Back to the weak side. Wilhelm is doing an excellent job of bootlegging, carrying out his fakes, keep those linebackers from running with the football play.
9 minutes and 55 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Wagner 19, Dayton 3. Flyers with second and goal from the 6-yard line. Nicholson and Godfrey get in the backfield. This is Godfrey trying to push forward down to the 5-yard line.
They attempted the same play to the wide side of the field, and their linebackers closed the gap. They're in a 6-5 goal line defense, and they just stepped right up in and stopped the play at the line of scrimmage. This is a big down for the Dayton Flyers.
3rd down and 5. Wilhelm comes to the line of scrimmage. The Dayton center, Bob Antoon, over the ball. There's the handoff, and it's a great defensive play made by Wagner. Perhaps the Seahawks' biggest defensive play.
Well, that's an interesting call. Uh-oh, I see what happened. They called a quick trap, and both guards crossed on that. I guess a little mix-up on the assignment there.
So it's 4th and goal for the Flyers at the 7-yard line.
They're going for it.
They have to go for it here with time becoming a factor. 8.5 minutes remaining. Jones is back in the game at tailback. Godfrey is the fullback. It's a halfback option as Jones has it. He's trying to throw for Wilhelm at the goal line. It's knocked down, and Wagner has made a big defensive stand at the goal line as Dayton tried to throw the halfback option pass back to Wilhelm on 4th down, and Wagner gets the ball back on downs.
Nick, the play was there early. He just couldn't get it set and throw the football back.
So 8:21 remaining, and Wagner has renewed enthusiasm. The Seahawks have held the Flyers. There's timeout on the field with the score Wagner 19 and Dayton 3. So Homer, it's 4th and goal for Dayton at the 7-yard line, and as you watch this play develop.
There's a halfback. Throw back to the quarterback, who's an eligible receiver. But it was underthrown and is well covered. It was there a little bit earlier, but he didn't have a chance to plant his foot and get the football to the quarterback early enough to have an opportunity for a score.
It hurt head coach Mike Kelly as Kovar back to throw, going for it all, airing it out, and it's overthrown. John Chaney at the 48-yard line. Jody Weldy, number 28, was covering for Dayton. Kovar, boy, he likes to air it out.
Well, they came back aggressive on this series. Before that, they were a little conservative, and they gave Dayton a chance to get back in field position after they had to punt. But this time they came out very aggressive and throwing the up pattern and trying to put something out quickly.
Kovar is 17 of 28 for 264 yards, and nearly all of his damage has been in the first half. 8:15 remaining in the game. 2nd and 10. The pitch to Underwood. Can't turn the corner. Gang tackled at the 6-yard line.
Well, Dayton's defense is fresh. They've been on the sideline a lot this half, so they're making a lot of good plays here, and that's going to be the difference in this fourth quarter if their offense can generate the opportunities to score and make them count.
Wagner with a record of 12-1. The only loss was a 35-28 decision at Hofstra in the 6th week of the year. Dayton has been beaten twice, both against Division II foes. You talk about damage in the first half, and the graphic never been more clear. Only 12 in the second half for Wagner. This is Kovar. Back to pass. He's got a receiver, Keith Johnson, at the 24-yard line. That's a first down for Wagner.
Against that zone coverage, that curl circle in pattern is there, and Cheney makes it work because he breaks to the outside and gives the impression he was going deep. So they have to back off in their zone coverage, and that receiver can whip right in there and they get the ball deep enough behind the linebackers.
So a big first down for Wagner to keep its drive alive and to take precious seconds off the clock. It's a matter of ball control now for Wagner, as Dayton not only is battling the Seahawks, but the clock as well. This is a running play. It's Tom Pugh spinning to around the 24. Pugh is 6'1", 235, a junior from Rome, New York, who was one of 11 Seahawks who did not play last week due to food poisoning. Nearly 2,000 career rushing yards for big fullback Tom Pugh.
That was the fullback quick trap, trying to trap the tackle, the right defensive tackle, Dayton Flyer tackle, and no gain, but they are running the clock, and that's important for Wagner at this point.
Kovar looks over the defense and then hands the ball off to Underwood, and Underwood has been brought down on a solo tackle made by Tom Ray, a senior defensive end from Kettering, Ohio, a co-captain and preseason All-American for Mike Kelly's team. Ray spent 2 years at West Point. In fact, he did his parachute training at nearby Fort Benning.
Nick, they had both corners coming that time. They really put the pressure on them, made the penetration, got the play back behind the line of scrimmage. This is a big down for the Dayton Flyers and for Wagner to maintain possession and move the football.
They're down in 12, and from the shotgun, Greg Kovar. It is incomplete.
Oh boy, almost an interception there. Poor decision by Kovar.
Good pressure from Tom Ray, and nearly an interception by Dayton. It was the free safety, Sean Keneally, that was the man that nearly picked it off. 4th and 12, and Kovar will punt. Dayton's going to get the ball back with 5.5 minutes to play and trailing by 16. End over end, high punt. Eubank makes the grab on the run at the 40-yard line. So Dayton's in good field position with 5.5 minutes to play here in the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl game, where the Wagner College Seahawks are in. Walt Hamline is just 5.5 minutes away from his first NCAA Stagg Bowl championship, pending a Dayton Flyer rally, and the Flyers are going to work here with 5.5 to play and trailing 19-3. There's Dave Jones getting the ball to the 39-yard line. Short gain.
Again, the counteraction has not been effective in the early downs. They need to move the football. They need a score here, Mick, very desperately. Wagner needs to hold if they want to preserve this victory. That's what they hope to do.
Randy Cummings goes out wide to the left. Eubank is wide to the right. Dayton lines its backs up in the eye with Nicholson the fullback. It's number 42, and number 34 is the tailback Jones. Wilhelm to throw. Over the middle. It is in and out of the hands of Eubank. Now that is Cummings at the 21-yard line. He had it and dropped it.
He had that ball running. He could have scored on that. Would have been the big play they needed at this point. But he didn't keep his eyes on the football. Very, very basic ingredient for a receiver. You can see he lifted his head up, and then he kicked it with his knee. And away goes the big play opportunity.
Randy Cummings caught a 26-yard touchdown pass in Dayton's upset of Augustana a couple of weeks ago. 3rd down and 9. Wilhelm's got to put it up. Good blocking. He throws it in trouble, in traffic, picked off. And ill-advised pass. They had 3 men covering, and Bill Lynch makes his 4th interception. Lynch, a 4-year starter from Baldwinsville, New York, has picked it off, and it may have sealed the fate of the Dayton Flyers here in this game. 4:45 remaining. Wagner gets the ball back with the score. The Seahawks 19 and the Flyers 3. So with Wagner enjoying a 19-3 lead, less than 5 minutes, the enthusiasm is building on the Wagner sideline. Their fans from Staten Island and head coach Walt Hameline realizing a Stagg Bowl championship is just a minute or 2 away here if they can hold on. There's the running play to Tom Pugh, and Pugh gets to around the 16-yard line.
That was just a quick hand off their fullback, trying to break up the yardage, run the clock. They want the time to decrease it at this point in time, so they're running the clock.
And less than 4.5 minutes. Kovar at 6'5", just a junior. He'll return next year in the backfield for Wagner College, as will Tom Pugh and Terry Underwood. Nearly all of the skilled players will be back next year for Wagner College. Pugh again, powering his way across the 20, maybe the 22-yard line. Looks like about a 7-yard gain.
They're running that fullback, just quick buck right off the right guard.
Yeah, that right guard, Aaron Campbell, they call him Sugar Bear, 6'2", 278, a senior from Ellenville, New York. A 4-year starter. This is a veteran offensive group, especially in the line. I mean, is the veterans, the Seahawks, if you will. And they've done a job here. 3rd down, a yard to go for Wagner. 22-yard line. Full house backfield, you see. Fumble on the ball, and Kovar scrambles to pull it back in. It'll be 4th down. Wagner will punt it away.
The Flyers needed that break.
Squirted right through the hands of Kovar. He was able to recover.
Cardinal sent for quarterback. He did not bring the ball to his pocket, to his belt buckle.
So Mike Jones, the center, will snap it deep. Kovar, 5-yard line to hit it. Eubank back near midfield to catch it for Dayton. Kovar hits kind of a knuckleball at the 43, takes a Wagner roll in the Dayton territory at the 49, and that's right where the center Mike Jones downs it. So the Flyers are 51 yards away from the goal line with 2:38 remaining in the game. Dayton has yet to score a touchdown in this contest, though they have dominated the second half. They simply fell too far behind in the first half when Wagner rolled to a 19-0 lead. All Dayton has been able to add here is a field goal by Mike Dubik. So Mike Kelly knows he's in deep trouble here, trailing 19-3. Perrin goes wide left, top of your screen. Eubank is wide to the bottom. Backs are split. Dayton's forced to put it up. Wilhelm to roll left, look for Perrin, makes the grab at the 41-yard line, a pickup of 8.
There's a little hitch pattern again. He was widely covered. They're going to measure this. Little sprint out action. Wilhelm drives the ball, makes a great catch because he was tightly covered. And they're measuring. I believe it's going to be a little short, just a few inches short of the first down. Nick, this is the time to gamble. This is the time to go for the touchdown, the big play right here on the 2nd and short. And come back and get the first down the next play.
Dayton has won 38 of its last 45 games. 4th winningest Division III team in the 1980s. But Wagner has also been equally outstanding under Walt Hameline. Hameline is 61-13. 2 ties in his 7 years. These are 2 fine Division III football teams competing for this NCAA championship. This is Godfrey powering his way, breaking a tackle and getting to around the 45-yard line. A flag goes down.
They did the sure thing to get the first down. Be sure they maintain possession. Face mask. Let's see, is it the 5 or 15? Five-yard penalty. Not the flagrant type, so it'll be a first down just this side of the 30-yard line.
We'll spot it down at the 31-yard line. We wish to take this opportunity to thank the head football coach of Wagner College, Walt Hameline, and his staff, and sports information director John Stallings. This is Wilhelm back to throw down the sideline, wrong side for Eubank. It falls incomplete.
He had the man open.
And from the University of Dayton, our thanks to athletic director Tom Frericks, head football coach Mike Kelly and his staff, and sports information director Doug Hoschchild. Brings up second down and 10 with 1:52 remaining.
During the last two drives, Wagner's gone into a double coverage on their wide receivers, playing two deep secondary with the corners right up on the wide receivers.
From the 31-yard line, Dayton with a double wide to the right. Wilhelm to throw. It's batted down by Robinson, and it's incomplete. Rich Robinson at 6'3" got in there and got his hand up to knock the pass down. It's 3rd and 10.
Walt Hameline was telling us that is his main rusher on pass defense, and he certainly proved at that point. And that's the second one he's deflected in his football game.
Big smile there you saw from Terry Underwood, while Walt Hameline remained rather non-committal, rather cool for a coach that's in a 16-point lead with less than 2 minutes to play. 3rd and 10 for Dayton. Wilhelm looking down the left sideline. Knocked away.
Tipped at the last moment.
Eubank just has not been able to make the acrobatic catches that he has made throughout the season for Dayton. And so now it's 4th and 10 with 1:39 remaining. Homer, I've certainly enjoyed working this Stagg Bowl game with you, and hopefully maybe we can team it together again.
Well, Mick, you're the pro, and you certainly carried me on this one. And if I have the opportunity again, I'll certainly do a better job. But I enjoyed it very, very much. Thank you.
4th down and 10. Perhaps last chance here for Dayton. Wilhelm dropping back. It's coming over the middle for Jones. It's incomplete. And so Wagner will get the ball back, run out the clock, and they'll win the Stagg Bowl championship game. 1:34 left. Dayton's offense heads to the far sideline, and they're cheering back on the streets of Staten Island, New York, as the Wagner College Seahawks apparently have accomplished their mission here.
The Wagner fans are very excited, Mick. They got the one finger up. We're number one.
Nearly 200+ schools started the season. These two made it to the Stagg Bowl, and Wagner College is going to take home a trophy here. Over 18,000 players in Division III football, the largest division in the NCAA, non-scholarship football.
This is what it's all about, Nick. These kids, they are, in the truest sense of the word, student athletes. And I just love these people, the way they work and what they do.
Both coaches have told us this week, in fact, you posed the question, what do you do when your players have labs during practice? And they both said,
they go to the labs. That's right. It's that clear. And of course, this is great, and I think this is the philosophy we should all have in intercollegiate football.
So with a momentary pause in the play here, 1:25 remaining, we can recap the game a little bit in case you're a late tuner in. Wagner completely dominated in the first half. An outstanding first half by the junior quarterback from Hazlet, New Jersey, Greg Kovar. He directed flawlessly the Wagner offense. In fact, the Seahawks rolled to a 19-0 advantage after a 22-yard pass to Cheney, a big long pass that set up Hughes' second touchdown, and then another 22-yard pass to Keith Johnson. It was 19-0 at the half. All Dayton could muster was Duvek's 39-yard third-quarter field goal. They've been without a touchdown, and Wagner with a 19-3 lead and a minute and a half remaining. The pitch to Underwood, and he is running hard across the 45. Another flag goes down as Underwood gets to the 46-yard line.
Looks like a holding penalty. Might move them back, give Dayton a little bit of a breathing spell, but not much. They're going to run that clock. They can actually run the timeout here. Flipping penalty, 15 yards.
The executive producer of this NCAA Productions telecast has been Jim Marcioni. Production manager Gina McNeil. Today's game has been produced and directed by Darrell E. Walt. Production facilities provided by Shooting Star Productions. And the rest of our outstanding crew that's helping to make this telecast possible today from Garrett Stadium here on the west bank of the Chattahoochee River in Phenix City, Alabama, the site of the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl game. Another flag is going down before the ball can be snapped.
Sounds like a delay of game. Looks that way. No, yes, delay of game. Too much time.
So it stops the clock with 49 seconds and the excitement building on the Wagner College sideline. It's second down and long.
And Dayton at this time needs to believe in miracles. A miracle.
Here's the pitch. Running back again off the right side out to the 24. Terry Underwood. And that's exactly what has happened here today. Wagner has defeated the Dayton Flyers, and Wagner will return to Staten Island 13-1 and with a Stagg Bowl trophy. Each school now will have won a Stagg Bowl trophy, and for Wagner this will be its first NCAA championship in any sport.
And Nick, they may be back here next year to play this game again with that quarterback and running backs they have, the defensive people. Of course, they lose that defensive secondary, and that made a big difference this football game because they're seniors. They've had a lot of experience in this game, and that makes a big difference in a game like this.
The long faces on the sideline of the Dayton Flyers.
That may be Dayton's last time out, which means they cannot stop the clock after this play.
Dayton will return to Ohio 11-3, suffering the first loss of the season against a Division III opponent. Dayton had been beaten earlier in the season by Butler at Indianapolis 15-10, then upset at Dayton by a Division II school, St. Joe. They thought that they should have defeated St. Joe and lost by 2 points. So they knew at that point they could not lose another game and make the playoffs. And that's when this team turned the corner, shutting out Ithaca in the regular season finale, and then rolling strong into the playoffs before rolling into this formidable foe, Wagner College. 3rd and 16, a running play. Again, they keep it on the ground, try and keep the clock running.
Well, Mike Kelly is certainly one of the fine football coaches in our profession, and they have had a great year and a great program, and I'm sure they'll be back here again later on.
Walt Hameline just gotten an early shower, and the Wagner College Seahawks have celebrated. In fact, we won't see any more action in this game as both teams are coming toward the center of the field. That is it. The Wagner College Seahawks are the Division III NCAA football champion. That's the end of the game with the final score, Wagner 19, Dayton 3. The Stagg Bowl championship goes to Wagner College. For Homer Rice, this is Mick Hubert saying we'll be back in just a moment.
Going onto the field before the presentation of the championship.
So the celebration continues on the center of the field for the Wagner College Seahawks. They are the NCAA Division III football champions, and they earned it with a 19-3 victory over the Dayton Flyers this afternoon here in Phenix City, Alabama. There's happy wife of Walt Hameline embracing her husband, and they'll go back very happy. A well-deserved victory.
Well, he's certainly a fine football coach, has a great program at Wagner, and he'll be back here because you can tell the kind of program he has. And they certainly put on a great display here today. The first half was all Wagner. And, of course, the Dayton Flyers put on a great effort in the second half.
But the Flyer effort falls short as Wagner wins it. The final score is Wagner 19 and Dayton 3. For Homer Rice, this is Mick Hubert saying so long from Phenix City, Alabama. This has been an NCAA Productions telecast.